This is allowed for people. Okay, I call the meeting to order. I would ask Amanda to read the minutes of the January 16th meeting.
January 16, 2023. Chairman Clues called the regular meeting of the Wright County Board of Supervisors to order at 9 a.m. Members present were Clues, Rasmussen, and Huckable. Minutes of the previous regular meeting of January 9th, 2023 were read and approved. Approved claims for payments. Bob Ritter spoke in open forum. Ritter asked for clarification for the crossing permits. Adam Clemens, Wright County Engineer, explained the company will have to be a public utility to be put inside of the county road right of way. If they are a private utility, they will need a work in the right of way permit with signatures from both landowners adjacent to the road stating they are okay with the utility being put in the road right of way. Motion by Rasmussen, second by Hillwold to receive the quarterly revenue report from the Wright County Auditor. Motion carries. Daryl Stephen Carlisle, Economic Development Director, presented the names for appointment to the Economic Development Board. Motion by Hillwold, second by Rasmussen to approve the appointment of Mike Ryerson and Kent Rutherford to the Economic Development Board for a 3-year term to expire December 31st, 2025. Motion carries. Daryl Stephen Carlisle also presented the FMHA relending loan for $100,000. Motion by Rasmussen, second by Hillwold to approve the FMHA relending loan through Wright County Economic Development to Jacob A. Weiss Auto Repair for $100,000. Motion carries. Clemens gave an update on the secondary roads. There were 5 work orders completed last week, with 2 of them building snow fences north and south of Clarion. Crews are inspecting their equipment and completing V-plow repairs due to the last winter storm. Motion by Huggle, second by Rasmussen to make the Board of Supervisors Zoom meetings accessible on the county website via YouTube link. Motion carries. Marie Boyd with Healthy Harvest gave an annual update to request continued funding. This past year, they did 20 bi-weekly food box deliveries to increase the access of local healthy foods. They plan to continue that for the future. In the summer, they have field days highlighting different local businesses and their practice. They are requesting a $1,000 contribution for this year in support. This will be considered during budget discussions. Motion by Hillwold, second by Rasmussen to adjourn the meeting. Motion carries. The board will be holding budget discussions following the regular meeting.
Is there any additions or corrections? Hearing none, they will stand approved as presented.
Got him January 20th one.
January 20th, 2023. Chairman Clues called a special meeting of the Wright County Board of Supervisors to order at 9 a.m. Members present were Clues, Rasmussen, and Hubble. The meeting started with discussion of the fiscal year 2024 budget. Motion by Rasmussen, second by Hubble to set the public hearing date for the proposed maximum property tax dollars on February 6, 2023 at 9:30 a.m. Motion carries. Motion by Hubble, second by Rasmussen to adjourn the meeting. Motion carries.
Any additions or corrections? Hearing none, those will stand approved as read.
Pass that to Dean.
Okay, claims have been around. Open forum for public input. Item number 5, receive the quarterly revenue report from the Wright County Recorder. This is for the quarter ending December 31st, 2022. Total fees received was $119,264.04. Have both of you seen this?
No, you can pass it around then.
Wish we got to keep all that.
Yeah, only a small amount.
Motion to approve.
Second.
I have a motion and a second to receive the revenue report from the Wright County Recorder for the quarters from October through December 31st, 2022. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Those opposed, nay. Motion carried.
It's just as assignments. Do you guys sign those?
And the chair does.
Yeah,
I think.
that's fine that.
Yep.
Yeah.
Then you know that.
Okay.
Okay, item number 6, receive the semi-annual treasurer's report.
Good morning.
Good morning.
All right. Okay, so first thing is the actual semi-annual.
Covering the period from July 1st, 2022 to December 31st, 2022.
And then this, part of this reporting to the board is where the money is.
Okay,
This is the report I'd like to have back, as my account numbers are on it.
okay.
And lastly, I have to give you what is outstanding as of December 31st. That I'd like to have back too, because those will be shredded. With the private personal name on it.
These
That's on
checks
the-
have not-
that's on
have
the-
not cleared yet.
On the last one, Peggy,
Yes,
okay. Okay, are you gonna review it or should I?
well, do you want to look through the semi-annual first
Yes,
and see, let me know if you got any questions?
Okay. And these fund balance isn't too bad,
No,
4.5 million.
the last column on that, the auditor's warrants outstanding.
correct.
Well, checks.
Those are the warrants that Betty has issued that have not been cashed.
Okay. So I'm looking at line item 62.
The side fund.
Yes, ma'am.
Mhm.
And so that the 127,812.94
Mhm.
is not that was the beginning.
That is money it hasn't cashed checks. Checks haven't cashed yet.
Yeah.
They haven't.
She wrote a warrant for that, or wrote several warrants for that, and they haven't cleared the bank as of December 31st.
Okay,
Which
but-
I'm guessing it's probably something to do with payroll.
It's like when you reconcile your bank account and the
Okay.
checks haven't cleared yet,
Okay.
that's that number.
all right. So the balance on December 31st in that account was 347,506. Okay, I got you. Of which we have 127,812 outstanding.
Correct.
Okay, got it.
You see any concerns with it at all, or are you happy with it?
I mean, I don't know every department's business. So a lot of these funds, I don't know if they're healthy for them or not,
Right,
because I just don't.
Just
know
the
what
number,
they're doing.
yeah.
Yeah, these are just numbers to me.
okay.
And like line item 22, school control.
Mhm.
Those are revenues that come in
Those
that
are
are levies
Mhm.
for the schools, right?
correct. So then you can see. It should always. Don't have to look for someone else first aid in a sec.
Not it.
Correct. So those chances are what is left in that is probably what you apportion it. Because we're still taking taxes in.
Okay.
So those will be apportioned out.
Okay. Okay, then what were we gonna discuss after we looked that over?
If you have any questions.
I think you've answered my questions.
We're on to this next then.
And if I understand it, correctly, then on the 31st of December, our total fund balance was 14,750,836.48, of which we had 941,333.17 that was still outstanding there. I mean, the checks haven't cashed yet.
That includes those. That's the actual fund balance. So the fund balance is already taken into effect the outstanding warrants, because when Betty writes it, it comes out of the fund. They just have not cleared the bank yet.
But they're out of the fund balance though already.
Mhm.
Okay,
Okay,
so you don't have to subtract them.
Mm-mm.
okay, all right.
Good. Okay,
Did you guys have any other
no,
questions?
that's good.
No,
You want a motion on that now, or you want to go for the other two pieces of paper?
It's up to you, if you have any questions. Basically, they're just things I have to tell you, like where the money's being kept at.
Okay.
And then this is the outstanding as of December 31st.
and what's, I guess, what's this on, the taxes or,
The outstanding one.
yeah,
These are the transactions in my office that have not cleared the bank as of December 31st, the actual cash transaction. The way I kind of look at it is funds aren't really money. Funds are numbers. And this is the actual cash. This is the actual money over here. So these are the outstanding ones. That are cash transactions. So like my credit card processes or payments in the office, those don't always clear. Like if you come in like on the 28th, of course, it hasn't cleared by the 31st. In fact, it was the 30th because the 31st was on a weekend.
because what do they usually take, 3 days, business days to clear?
Two or three.
Mhm.
The online transactions actually go quicker because they go through a clearinghouse. The IOPs, which are my in-office credit cards, take an extra day.
So this number and this number, what is their relationship? The 155,039.16 versus the 23,481.18.
Debits and credit. So, the big number is the outstanding withdrawal that still need to come out. And
Okay.
then the 23,000 would be the outstanding debits that have not posted yet to the bank account.
Okay. When you combine those two, does it match up with anything that's on?
No,
No.
because these are actual cash transactions.
Okay,
So these basically don't have anything to do with this. This is why I have to tell you this separately.
okay,
Gotcha.
Yeah, so like if you bought a new car and the dealer sent us 1,500, but we needed 1,450, and I have to write you a $50 check back, that's what this is.
okay,
Just money moving.
okay.
Okay,
Make a motion to approve,
second.
And the last one is just where those funds are at.
and you want these two back, right?
Yeah, anything with a bank account or a person's name on it. I'll just back.
Okay, I have a motion and a second to receive the semi-annual treasurer's report. Any further discussion? All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, item number 7, appoint Sarah Middleton, Shannon Walker, and Jeremy Abbas to the temporary redistricting committee to establish 5 supervisor districts. This is in relation to the referendum that was on the November election to go from 3 supervisors to 5 supervisors, which requires redistricting. That will be done in the current fiscal year or the current calendar year. 23. Any
No,
comments?
I talked
concerning
to
that?
Sarah last week and she accepted it, and I think they're gonna probably go to work as soon as they can. They want, still have some time to do it. So I
Okay.
think their aspect is to get it done as quickly as possible, so they can get it done, so we can get it out to the voters.
Motion to approve.
Is there any requirements for that?
No, it was
I mean,
the
I
same,
can-
similar thing that we did last
Okay.
time. And then Jeremy went through it before, and also with Shannon, they've done it, so. They're ready to go ahead and do it. They'll have resources. They can ask the auditor for help. They can ask Midas for help. It's pretty much it's in their ball to go out and.
And then they bring forth
What their findings.
options for us to.
Yeah.
As long as they make the window within the population,
Population, yep,
and a certain percentage, then we approve it.
we approve.
And does the state have any say in that?
The state stepped in on a few of them last year when it was district, it was a third option, which we're in option 2, option 3, they had some.
And option 2 is you have to live within your
District.
district that you represent, but you vote at large.
At large.
Okay. And we'll keep that.
Yes, that would be another petition.
Okay.
And
change it
to
to a
change it,
different-
yeah, to go to a vote. Years and years ago, we were living in the district, vote in the district, but it got changed probably in the mid-70s.
Okay. All right. Did you make a motion? I'm sorry. Okay.
I'll second that.
I have a motion and a second to appoint Sarah Middleton, Shannon Walker, and Jeremy Appas to the temporary districting committee to establish 5 supervisor districts. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Okay, we will be in,
We can go to Adam.
Adam, can you fit in there before 9:30?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay,
First thing on the agenda, is a amendment to the secondary roads program, 5-year program. We were needed to do this because our project for the raise grant was not inside the STIP. It was in our, CFYP, which is County 5-year construction program. So I moved it from the current, it was in 27, fiscal year 27. It needs to be at least in 25. So I've moved it from 27 to 25.
Okay.
And that would be if this raise grant was given to us, to the counties, that's when we were planning to do it anyway.
Okay.
So I made it realistic that, hey, if this is given, we're gonna go right ahead. It would probably be the project development certification would be July of 2025, letting that next fall, or that
Gotcha.
fall. So
this is Bridge 210,
this bridge 210, you'll see it is on page.
3.
Yes, page 3.
That's the only
So-
thing that you moved over into that line?
That is correct.
Okay.
Yeah, and I also changed the project number to an illustrative project number, because we don't know if we're gonna have the money.
Gotcha.
So
And I'm assuming that's in millions?
that is in millions. Take that times, yes, take that all that times 1,000.
Okay,
So. Yes, we will use about 550,000 from our FM account. And then also 2.2 million we're hopefully getting from the federal raise grant.
okay.
Now, that's 80% of that, up to 80%. It could be lower, it could be 60%. So we would just have to influx with our VR that they might let us use, or FM.
Gotcha. Okay.
Okay,
So this is for consideration.
yes,
If we could have a motion.
I'll make a motion to approve the new 5-year program.
I'll second it.
I have a motion and a second to amend, to approve amendment number 1 to the secondary roads 5-year construction program. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried.
Just need your signature right there, and then I'll need you to sign.
Okay.
and then just a quick update, you're doing that. So obviously last week we had a lot of snow for the blades and the trucks. They worked, we had 2 service projects 2 service work orders get done. Winter operations, we went from Tuesday with the winter remix on the north end of the county for trucks. And then Wednesday we had out, Thursday we were cleaning up, and then Friday again, we had to go back out, so. And on also Saturday, Nate, we had some thawing and refreeze on Saturday. We went back out Sunday morning or Saturday morning to take care of anything that was left over and resand. So
Good.
that's all I have.
Okay, thank you.
Addition with that? Yes, I do.
Absolutely. Thanks. Yep.
Thank you.
Okay, we'll have a,
Meetings,
Meetings, old business.
meetings, last week, meetings.
We
Oh,
held
we were at the
new officers training school.
new officers training school in Des Moines. Again, a great school. I learned something every time I go down there and it's amazing to me to see and hear, how people feel like, you know, I thought I knew what this job was gonna be about, but I really don't have a clue. And that's the way I was, you know, so not that I'm a veteran, but
There's always something.
4 years in, I feel a lot more comfortable than I did when I attended that the first time.
I think talking to the other counties too, you pick up a lot of things on some of their issues and things like that for sharing. Definitely was worthwhile.
I would agree. And then, of course, on Friday, you heard we had the minutes read from that meeting. This week I have my first Iowa Drainage District Association meeting. That's up in Algona on Wednesday morning from 9:30 to 12. And then that afternoon, a Midas meeting in Fort Dodge. And then on Thursday evening, a CFR board meeting over in Webster City.
I have the opiate task force, another meeting tomorrow at 7 over at Public Health, and then I have DCAT on Wednesday. I will find out hopefully if we have any other extra dollars come in, Parent Connection can get funded fully, but I'll know more then
Okay,
on if there's dollars available.
I've got workforce today at 3 o'clock over in Humboldt, and then I've got, I think I'd mow on Tuesday at 5, and then I've got, the Central Iowa Detention over in Eldora on Friday.
busy week this week.
Yes,
Carl, does McKinley, does he attend those meetings or?
No, they just send over the information, I guess, yeah. And we funded in the past, we were waiting on dollars to come in, we don't know if they will come in. We funded her a little bit, but we're just waiting. If dollars are there, we realize it's a great program, so
Okay.
we're strapped on dollars, not that we don't want to do it.
Got it.
being recessed till 9:30.
We'll be in recess until 9:29. Meeting out of recess. Back to order. Item number 8 is 9:30, a timed event. Dwayne Asby to give an annual update on the Wright County Charitable Foundation. Over to you, Dwayne.
Okay, thank you, Dan. Thank you, board, for allowing me to give this another annual overview of the Wright County Charitable Foundation. Hand out 3 things. The first item is just more general information. You probably even seen it before, but just thought I'd give it to you as far as little information, what community foundations are all about. Specifically for our county foundation, if we take a look at the other 2 handouts, give you just a moment to kind of glance through that. The one is the lists our funds that we have under our umbrella here at the Wright County Charitable Foundation. And then the other is the accumulation of our grants that we have granted out since the infancy of our foundation. Or from the granting standpoint, as you see, it's first time we did granting was back in spring of 2006. So if you just want to kind of glance through that. And as you kind of go through it and kind of maybe pay attention to the final page, and that kind of gives you a summary.
Touched a lot of people with this over the years.
Yeah, isn't that right, Carl? Yeah. Yeah, each year that goes by, it just, and it's, as I said, different times, even at our granting ceremony, it's kind of fun to see the different causes that go on throughout the county, what's important to each group or each community or whatever, and just a lot of fun, worthwhile things, that's for sure.
And now you've gone to just once a year granting, not twice a year.
Yeah, that's correct, Rick. It's always been through last year, spring and fall, as you recall. But we are going this year, we began just an annual granting ceremony. Couple reasons for that. We're probably the only affiliate foundation that has kind of stuck with a semi-annual one. The second thing is, it takes a certain amount of effort, and certainly with the back office at the Economic Development Office, to go through, compile all the grant applications and the review and that type of thing or whatever, so it will simplify that, but still meet the good causes of the county. So those are a couple of the primary reasons why we're shifting to an annual approach.
And that starts now
Yeah,
till,
January 15th to March 1st is the grant application period. Is that correct, Rosie?
That's correct.
Yeah. Right. The other thing we're gonna maybe focus on a bit more is, always in the past, we average, we'll say, approximately 20 to 30 applications per granting period. It'll be kind of interesting now to see if that stays about the same or is more, because of the fact we're just gonna do it annually. But also, we're gonna maybe focus on trying to get maybe larger, potentially more larger impactful grants. Rather than maybe the 2, 3, 4,000 grants or whatever, just to make maybe a bigger bang, so to speak, within the
how many applicants did you get in when you're doing the spring and fall?
yeah, each cycle period, again, approximately 20 to 30. And it was always pretty consistent, right, Harold? Yeah.
And then when you're going down to this one, you may still have 40 to go through, possibly, you don't know
Or
yet.
even more, it's a minute, if you're gonna give out more dollars, more people may come out.
Possibly so. However, we have had, which we always encourage, we always have had different ones that maybe apply in a particular group, may apply in the fall, may apply again in the spring. So that may, just get down to one. So whether I would say we wouldn't double our applications,
But could run it close.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
Be interesting to see what the change is.
Right.
Then it'll make it a little bit simpler for you guys, I would think.
Yeah, just like I say, just one period instead of 2 periods or whatever, but still, the most important thing we want to do as a foundation is still to do the best we can for the recipients within our county with
Yes.
various causes where,
Well, at least you're doing it in the winter too, if some of that is construction stuff, so they can actually do it in the spring and the summer.
yeah, that's exactly right, Carl. That was also our thought as far as doing it at that time period, that way, get in this warmer weather, whatever. The fact project is ideally should be done within a 12-month period or whatever, so.
Right.
So, yeah, that would be an upcoming change. Again, if you look at those, speaking of the grants, again, if you focus on the last page of that handout. Since 2006, on the right-hand column is the grand total of the amount that we've actually granted out. So we've granted out exactly $1,510,117. So over time, that's.
Has it changed the amount we get? Is it, is it 1 cent or 2? What is the?
5% of
From a
The gaming?
Paul, you did it. From a gaming revenue standpoint, it's 0.8%.
Wow.
That each non-gaming county gets. Back in the COVID time period, a couple years ago, national the gaming was way down. Last year, like everybody got excited about getting back to life again, so to speak, including the gaming. So don't quote me on this figure, but the figure we usually get it in around September. And it was around a total of 160,000. So that's the largest that we've had. Again, remind you of that, which I've said in previous years. 75% of that has to be granted out to grants that we're just talking about. The other 25% is put into our permanent endowment, kind of good forever type thing or whatever, so. So using that example, that would be around $40,000 of that 160, if it is 160, would go into our permanent endowment. The other 120,000 would be the amount that we'll have available to grant out like this, this coming granting period.
It's amazing how much money goes through those casinos.
Yeah, isn't that right? Yeah, I should say. The other thing to also kind of remind you of, we haven't really taken that opportunity, but you can also, kind of getting back to Dean's figure, we can all, our figures kind of comes into play two different times. We can actually utilize 5% of our permanent endowment also. So say if we really got a lot of grant applications and we felt we weren't able to quite meet the needs based on our gaming fund, so to speak, we could take another up to 5% of the permanent endowment balance.
Have you done that yet, or just rolled it over?
I think once, maybe twice at most, we have utilized that method or that opportunity.
Okay.
Otherwise, we're just kind of feeling, leave it there, let it grow. Because sometimes the other purpose here, say the gaming revenue goes away or whatever, at least by building up a permanent endowment, we're always going to have funds available to grant out to worthy causes, whatever. So, but again, that opportunity is there. So that's where, so actually it could be, example, there could be 120,000 of the gaming revenue plus some additional money if the board so desires or feels that there's a need for that.
And has those funds, has the investment kept up with the 5%? In other words, if you took the 5%, you don't deplete your working funds, or has that?
That is right, or just like in maybe any of our investment portfolios or whatever, as long as the return on investment is over 5%, then you can actually maintain the principal, so to speak, plus do it. So
right.
Naturally, as we all know, the 2022 investment year was not good. But if you look, endowments are kind of good forever, long-term, good forever, so to speak. So, and with long-term investments, same type of thing, you definitely have the dips and then the rise or whatever. But if you look at a 10-year average, if you average, say 7% over a 10-year average,
right,
then you're more than meeting that 5%.
Right.
So meeting or maybe having that principal grow even if you did use it. Right.
Proportionally, yeah. Okay.
Then, again, I refer to the last sheet. And some people, all of a sudden concentrating on one particular community, one part of the county more than the other. And as you can see, it's kind of turned out to be quite equal. Belmont, Clarion, Eagle Grove are the top three there, and then Dow's and Goldfield, Rowan. We've got some Renwick there, only for the fact that, our county does maybe reach out to the perimeters there or whatever, but then the county-wide figure is just maybe, it's not in particular to any one town, so we
Be like the fair.
got yeah, you bet.
Wow.
So anyway, it's, you definitely. But also at the same time, we try to get the publicity out for people to apply, encourage people to apply, but sometimes, an example, Belmont has probably been our most frequent applications or whatever versus maybe some other communities. So if that's the case, it's naturally gonna maybe have those dollars a bit more there because maybe the number of applications are a little bit higher than other communities, but like I say, overall, it's pretty.
We're like pretty close on population wise.
Right, you bet. Then just from a total grant standpoint, 684 grants that we've distributed over the life of the foundation. Then as far as the project costs, for us to help fund those causes, those various project costs of the various ones over that time period has been over $20 million of reality to see help support whatever project it was, so. So anyway, again, you can see, the dollars are become quite significant. So that would be the overview of the grants. Do you have any questions? Now, if you'd refer to the other sheet, which is the listing of the endowments or the funds that we have under our umbrella. And I just wrote down below there, we got 38 funds. The end of December of this past year. Those funds listed have a total asset value of a little over $7.5 million.
Wow.
We had contributions into those funds or the various funds that had contributions totaled just short of 300,000. And the total grants that we awarded in 2022 was just a hair over 500,000. Now, again, you might say, well, our gaming funds, we'll say was 100,000 we awarded out. Well, again, the beauty of our foundation or the other purpose for our foundation by working with fund holders with their funds, each of those fund holders can grant out to causes or to their own cause. So that's where the additional amount that comes up to in this case, here over 500,000 was the gaming funds plus the various funds within the under our umbrella went toward, again, worthy causes here over 500,000, which was the highest figure we've had since we've been established, whatever. So that's a significant figure. Again, a fair portion of that certainly is the Jacobson Fund that we, as you know, we've had, it's under our umbrella over in Belmont. But again, as I said before, if it wasn't for our establishment of our foundation, we would not have had the Jacobson Fund, or we wouldn't have been able to work with them to have them have a fund, and from that standpoint, so.
Far cry from the beginning, we thought $1 million was a big reach.
Yeah. Carl, you were part of the foundation board, that's right, we have a goal of that $1 million happy fund, and here we are 18 years later, or 16 years later, or whatever, that we're at over 7 million, so from that standpoint, feel good about it.
Mhm.
And kind of along that, what Carl has said there, again, this is repetition to all of you from previous years, but again, we are affiliated with the Community Foundation of Greater Des Moines. There's currently 44 affiliates under there as a host foundation. From an asset standpoint, we're probably right at number 5 in the listing as far as the asset value. And that includes Story County and Okoboji. The reason I point that out, Story County is a sizable county, and Okoboji's got some wealth over there from the Okoboji standpoint. So we feel good about that, where we're at. Also, back to Carl's comment, there are still a number of affiliates that strictly concentrate just on the gaming funds, and it's more of a granting foundation. So there's no money in, money out, or whatever, and not concentrate on the endowment part of it, or the fund growth. So where we've at least attempted from day one to concentrate on that area too, because the purpose of our foundation is not only granting, but also working with either individuals or nonprofits from a fund or endowment standpoint. And again, if you take a look at that list, again, there's all the way from nonprofit groups to individuals to corporations to what have you, and also spread across the county as far as various funds. And there's, including churches and that type of thing, or whatever, libraries and so on. Then just a refresher. We, again, the Dow Iowa tax credit, that's been something you're all aware of to some degree. And that's where it's, if a person donates to a Dow Iowa fund, you get a 25% state tax credit. So somebody made a donation of $1,000 to a Dow Iowa fund, that person would get $250 of the state tax credit. The reason the state legislators had created that back in 2005 or 6 or whatever was to try to preserve wealth transfer within each of the counties or whatever from that standpoint. So that's a little bit of a carrot to encourage that. And the point I'm leading up to, that was such a great idea and gone over so well that for the last number of years, there's $6 million of state tax credit. So if you do the math, if you get 25% in Dow Iowa state tax credit, and if you have $6 million, and the state has $6 million to give out, that means there's $24 million of philanthropy in 1 year to do that, which is great for the state of Iowa as well as the respective communities and counties. And it's gone over so much, so big and so good that already the 22 allotment has been used up. The 23 has already been used up, and there's a waiting list for 24. So
Wow.
there is some focus, and if we have a chance to visit with our local representatives, to encourage maybe the state to consider maybe having a kind of a catch-up type thing where you can maybe get $1 million or $2 million extra, just because it's such a lag period now. It doesn't necessarily lose the focus, but if you're visiting with someone to give that idea, or you have to tell a person, well, it's a
2-year wait.
it's a great tax and perk, but yeah,
But 2 years
Yeah.
before you see it.
right. Then the other thing with that, I think there's a limit of $300,000 to any one donor. I think that's bigger, if it isn't sizable. They're gonna try to encourage the state legislature to lower that to the maximum to 100,000. So if we did that, that would also help ease that figure. Because all of a sudden, if there is a few entities out there that use it, that chews into it pretty fast too. So that's the other thing they're hopefully gonna make a change. But anyway, that in Dow Iowa tax credit has been certainly lived up to their hopes. And again, by doing that, think of a number of years now, how much philanthropy is put back in the state of Iowa. It's gonna stay here in the state of Iowa and the respective communities. So
Is there legislation or is there somebody that's, I suppose that you, because it's a charitable foundation, you can't hire a lobbyist to work towards getting that legislation changed.
great point, Dean. There actually is a lobbyist that we do have, and also through the community foundation right in Wayne, but also for the state of Iowa. His first name is David. He's been there ever since I've been a part of it back when it started. He's a great spokesman and advocate for that, but that's so yeah, you know how that works or whatever. So yeah, that's yes there is.
Good.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I know that we had it in our budget we had reduced it 2 years ago. But we are maintaining what we've done last year, so we plan to continue to invest also.
Wow, we appreciate that. I'm certainly gonna get to that point or whatever. Certainly appreciated the supervisors' support in the past, that's for sure. Anything is appreciated, that's for sure. At the same time, as you can see, where our foundation is and our status is versus just an in and out granting type thing, it is definitely more, you can't, and I've said this before too, you can't expect a volunteer board to oversee and maybe have the day-to-day working knowledge of the different opportunities with the foundation. And again, if we're a fiduciary and doing prudent things for over $7.5 million, it does take some prudence to make sure that's attained or whatever. And like I say, more than just a volunteer board, so it does it therefore involves some operating expenses as well as different things we do throughout the year too, or whatever. So, so again, any amount is appreciated back as you're referring to, Gina. Prior to 2 years ago was you supported us by $9,000 and you cut it down to $4,500 the last couple of years. Again, we feel we still, and all, as I said in previous years too, we're keeping people out from your doors as far as various requests too, so. I think
It's a great tool to refer them over to you when they come
yeah,
in here.
yeah, you don't have to deal with that type of thing or whatever, so I think we serve that purpose too, so. And also you folks in the Wright County Economic Development is our sponsor, so to speak, so we're kind of together from that standpoint, so I think anything from our sponsor that can help support it would be certainly appreciated too, so. National Mars standpoint, we would like to see it get back to $9,000, totally real, $9,000, totally realize you got a budget and you know, and many other people that are approaching you too, but I just want to put our 2 cents into or whatever, because like I say, whether it's 4,500 or 9,000 or any other figure, in relation to us giving out over 500,000 with our efforts, it's kind of a small percentage too. From that, if you see versus if we did not exist again, if we didn't exist, there would be $500,000 to give out, because if you didn't have a qualified foundation, that's how it was from the beginning.
Right.
You would not get the gaming fund. So it all works together. So from our standpoint, not necessarily from a selfish standpoint, but from our business end standpoint, we feel we are hopefully doing enough of an impactful job that maybe would be worthy of consideration for again, whatever dollar you might give or whatever, but that would be my justification.
Very good, understood.
Okay, appreciate that. Just what I got, 30 minutes and probably over 30 minutes, or you probably Rick always wants to do 10 minutes.
You're right on time.
Just want to acknowledge our current board members.
Yes, please.
Adam Gorey, Dow's, Kevin Ken, that's was willing and able to be here, Eagle Grove, Amy Froling, Rowan, Kyle Marker, Clarion, Alice Seba, Goldfield, Jeannie Russell Dow's, Denny Bowman, Clarion, Trish Morris, Belmont, and gonna have a new one, gal by the name of Candy Jones down the Woolstock area. Back when we got established, we had all 7 communities with 2 per community, but then we certainly always encourage different communities to try come up with a person or whatever, including Woolstock, but for a good number of years, Woolstock hasn't had one. Again, that's not necessarily, or not surprising, really, because sometimes kind of on the outskirts, but been in contact with this Candy Jones, and she's willing to be on, so we're glad to have a little representation down there too, so.
Yeah. Speaking,
Kevin was willing to, he's one of our newer members in the last year, right? Yeah, so. And also Kevin understands, it's always good to have board members if possible, that really understand the concept, not only from a granting standpoint, but from a fund standpoint. And Kevin's connected with confidential information that there's as you see in the list, there's the James Johnson fund.
absolutely.
Yep. He and his father are kind of the advisors for that one. So anyway, Kevin understands the concept and certainly will bring value to our board as far as kind of knowing how things work, and if he's in contact with anybody, say in the Eagle Grove area or anywhere else, he can kind of talk the talk, just because he's kind of been in the shoes. So anyway, appreciate you coming. Kevin, any comments you'd like to make?
Yes, I would like to make a couple comments for that $4,500 that you're pledging here today. I've seen the impact it makes with people, both on the nonprofit side where it's helping them socially, but I also see the impact economically that $4,500 multiplies into.
Agreed.
So if you can find it in the budget or your hearts to give more than that, we can make sure that we quadruple that or even add to that even more economically and socially. So if you could find it in your hearts and in the budget to give more than that 4,500, we'd appreciate it.
It's in our hearts. But we're, yeah. It is definitely in our hearts.
Yeah.
We do see the value in it, absolutely, no doubt about
And the budget's not final yet.
Yep, yep. So that's why I mentioned that, the more you give, the more economically it impacts Wright County. So just so you know that, you can see that.
The
that some of
returns,
these
yeah,
groups want to spend the money on their infrastructure or their programs, they just don't have the funding to do that.
Right.
And like our James R. Johnson Fund, we want them to have some skin in the game. So usually we require at least half of that, a match or some type of labor or something of that effect. So that impacts people socially, it gets them to volunteer, and then all of a sudden it impacts it. Most of these people that have projects, they hire local. So that's another requirement we have is that they hire locals. So you can see the more you put in, the more Wright County is gonna get, just so you're crystal clear about that.
Definitely.
Similar like Upper Des Moines or
Yep,
are all those, I
Yeah.
mean, small money with a big return.
agreed.
Thank you, Kevin. Also, I don't know, if I had half over, we're pretty much right on all this here, 9:58. Anyway, certainly want to thank Daryl Stephen and Tim Demery out of their office for our back office support. Just like anything works better with a team effort and we have support, so certainly appreciate your efforts, Daryl Stephen, and again, we have, as I said in previous years, we've had a good connection with the Community Foundation of Red Des Moines. When we made that decision to be affiliated with them, we've never been disappointed from day one, so that's been just a good fit.
Very good.
Final thing, thanks again to you folks, thanks for all you do too, beyond listening to me and us for the foundation standpoint, as far as all the things you do from the county standpoint, so I've been in your shoes from other things too, you can't get thanking them, so to speak, so I really realize that, so thanks for your efforts, and with that, thanks for the annual opportunity to give you the update.
Thank you, Dwayne.
Thanks, Kevin.
You guys.
Did you have some information for us, Tom?
No, not
Okay,
other than earlier.
okay, very good,
Haven't seen anything yet.
very good. Is there any other business that needs to come before the board? Hearing none, I would accept the motion to adjourn.
So moved.
Carl, was that a second?
Yes.
I have a motion and a second to adjourn. All those in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Motion carried. Meeting is adjourned.